Alright guys, I just want to say hi. I hope everybody's doing well at home. I'm pretty much here at home enjoying my outdoor office space. Hanging out with my kids is awesome for me, but I miss you guys. I wish I could see you guys. I'm doing this just as a go-through. This is a trial run. Right now I'm going to give you the 3 examples for the Pythagorean theorem more practice. This is going to start on the more practice because the simplifying radicals and the Pythagorean theorem basic is what we did in class. So from now on and here forward, you're going to see a video on each of the lessons. I'm going to try and put one up every day, but again, I'm a little bit behind, being that you guys got a few days to turn in the work. Okay, so now we're at a 1 minute mark. I'm going to begin with the first instruction. We're going to do 3 examples just like in class. You can pause the video. I will not be waiting for you to write it down. Alright, go. Alright, so the first example, as you can see, let me make sure this is square here. Perfect. Okay, so our first example, as you can see, is nice and set up. It looks like this, where it's radical 2, radical 2, radical 5, radical x. Now, if we know and we understand that, then we have a very basic form to do. First of all, we identify the side lengths. I'm going to call this A, I'm going to call this B, I'm going to call this C. Not because I want X to be my short side, but because when I look at the picture it makes sense. I'm calling it A because it doesn't really matter for me whether the radical 5 or the X are bigger. But I go back to my basic formula. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Again, you plug in the values that you know. This then becomes x squared plus radical 5 equals 2 radical 2. Well, you kind of have to figure those out when you square them. So then you get x squared, which hasn't changed, but this radical 5 and this 2 cancel out, so you're left with 5. And then 2 squared is 2 times 2. That's 4, and this radical and the 2 cancel out, so that's 4 times 2, which is 8. So then the answer to number 1 is x squared equals 13. And when you take the radical of both sides, you get x is then the radical of 13, because you have to cancel out the square and the radical stays with the 13. Okay, this is then example 1. I will now continue with example 2. Hope you guys are hanging in there. Good job taking notes if you need it. Okay, example 2 is like this. 13x and 11. And again, you must continue to practice proper work, where you label A, B, and C. Again, I'm not going to do the formula. If you need the formula, go back to example 1. This is now x squared plus 11 squared equals 13 squared. Sorry, I got a little off. Alright. And then we go x squared plus 121 equals 169 minus 121 from both sides. I get x squared is the remaining of 48. Now this goes back to where we were studying simplifying radicals. I now have to go back over here and break down 48, 6 and 8, 2 and 3, 2 and 2, and I just happen to know that there's 3 2s and an 8. So then if I can get that in the screen here. Now, from there, this goes back to the old, you have to take the square root of 48. Okay, take your square root of 48. Make sure you understand that this work on the left side is the same as what you're about to do. So this becomes x equals the radical of 2, 2, 2, 2, and 3. We all know and talk about how the two friends get to go outside of the house. So this is x equals 2 times 2 to the radical 3. So when you type in the answer, it equals 4 rad 3. This is what you see, and this is how you type it into the computer. Okay, I forgot to say that on the previous one. On the previous one, you would type in rad 13. That's what you do on the eliminate answer. One word, no spacing. Okay, let's finish up the last example. The last example is number 3. And again, being able to do this and this and this and go x and 7 and 15. I really don't want to do number 3. I bet you if we did number 8, it would help a lot of people out. So let's do number 8. So then we have this really ugly one, which is radical 13. This one is 2 radical 2, and then this is x. Well, this goes back to the basic Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Again, identify what is my a, what is my b, what is my c. Plug that in accordingly. So I have 2 radical 2 squared plus radical 13 squared equals x squared. 2 squared is 4. The radical and the square cancel out, so this is 4 times 2, which is 8. Now the radical of the 13 and the 2 cancel each other out, so the 13 is the same. X squared, you're left with 21. And again, the answer then becomes radical of 21. This is not how you would type it into the computer. In the computer, when you type it into Illuminate, you type in rad 21. I hope this helps. Please send feedback and comments. Let me know if I need to put more up.